Well, I suppose this was inevitable. Part of the reason why, well, the main reason why it's taken me so long to do this was because I just simply wasn't subscribed to the DC Universe streaming service. I was waiting to get a job that had a yearly salary with benefits. Yeah, I'm a working stiff now. But now I went through the first season of Titans. Now, sorry, prior to watching this, I was a huge fan of the first anime Teen Titans show. It was awesome. Now, of course, there's the second animated show, Teen Titans Go. I haven't really watched it. Doesn't From what I've seen, I'm not really a fan, but that's not really made for me. So yeah, it's fine for its target audiences. But of course, you got the live action Titans, which is completely different from Teen Titans Go. Let's split this up into a few different sections, shall we? This will probably make it easier. Let's start with the tone and style of Titans. So obviously, this is going for a dark, more gritty, moody version of Teen Titans, at least in terms of how we've seen them in media like TV. And it's obviously taken influences from the Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, also a little bit from CW's Riverdale, which makes sense. All those shows have been noted for their more dark approach to their intellectual properties, and for the most part, they've been fairly well received. But here's the thing. When Marvel, Netflix, and CW did it, they were doing it in ways that were new and felt fresh. I mean, Marvel knew what didn't work in the past in terms of bringing someone like Daredevil to the screen, so they knew how to get rid of those mistakes and actually focus on what works. With Riverdale, it was based on a more darker approach to the world of Riverdale and Archie because for most of its existence, Archie has been known as just the kind of characters that just have goofy, weird, G rated fun. So the fact that they were going that direction that's on the CW and the way they pulled it off was actually kind of exciting and entertaining. Doing it this way as seen as Titans, in terms of cinematography, it is similar to Marvel Netflix, and there are some nice looking shots in this show, I'll give it that. But it's not bringing anything new to the dark and gritty take we've seen a million times, especially from other DC projects. Now, part of the fault of this is because DC sorta has a weird obsession with making things dark, grounded, and or gritty. Mainly because Christopher Nolan did it so well with the Dark Knight trilogy. Partly because we tried to be more lighthearted, we got Batman and Robin. So it's this. They're trying to find some sort of balance that just I they clearly don't get. I mean, in terms of films, I think Aquaman, Shazam are pretty good. Although if you want a film that has the best balance, it'll be The Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins. But in this Titan show, they clearly don't know how to balance it, and they just try to go all in with it without actually doing anything new with it. So that's what I think of it in terms of tone and style. Now let's go into the actual characters. Now, fair warning, when it comes to the individual characters, some of them I only know because they're part of the Teen Titans team. So keep that in mind and talk about them. Beast Boy, aka Garfield. My knowledge of him starts and ends with the first animated Teen Titans show. So with that in mind, I think he is the most similar to that version and the one that seems the most familiar personality wise at least. And he does have some nice interactions with Raven, aka Rachel, who in the past has sort of been shown to be in maybe a possible boyfriend girlfriend relationship, especially when it came to the first animated show. But anyway, I thought he was the most familiar and the most like lighthearted of the characters. And since I've already brought her up, let's talk about Rachel, aka Raven. Now, from the first animated TV show, I loved Raven. She was my favorite character. Is the Raven this show like her? Absolutely fucking not. But it's meant to be a different version. This Raven, or Rachel, is younger, clearly doesn't quite know who she is or what she is, and is trying to get a good grasp of what's going on around her and with her. And she does get into a little bit of the stereotypical whiny, moody teenage girl a little bit. But in some parts, I think it does work pretty well, and there are a couple of small snippets, small scenes where she does kind of remind me a little bit of the Raven from the first animated show, even if it is for just a brief moment. Honestly, I would not choose this actress to play the Raven that I know from the first animated show. But again, this is meant to be a different take on the character. I'm not really that big of a fan, but I am interested in seeing what they do with her in the future. Maybe they try to do something different with her, hopefully. Starfire. My problem with Starfire in this show is not because they have an African American actress playing her. Not that at all. Let's be honest, we're never going to get an actress who'll be willing to be painted all orange for this character. Hell, Jennifer Lawrence didn't even want to be painted all blue for her entire time in the X-Men films. Let's be realistic here. My problem with her is that they're trying to do something so drastically different, which in itself is not bad, but they just don't pull it off. So they tie her alien species and her alien planet to the threat of Trigon in this show, which I will get to later on in this video. But the way what they do it, I can kind of see where they're trying to go with it, but it just seems so weird and bizarre they go this route. Why have Starfire's alien species and Raven and her parentage be this tied together in such a weird way? It just doesn't really make sense. Plus her outfit. She looks like a street hooker. I'm sorry, she looks like a street hooker. Thank God that at the end of this first season, she's just wearing like this just black jumpsuit. Because thank God, oh my God. Now let's talk about Dick Grayson, aka Robin. I actually like him. I mean, at first when he was presented in the trailer being like this like violent guy saying fuck Batman, I was taken aback. But seeing how he's portraying the show, I actually think it works. He's honestly my favorite character in this show. Now there are a couple other recurring characters in the show as well. There's the superhero duo Hawk and Dove. They're outside of Dick Grayson, aka Robin, they're by far my favorite characters in this show. Such great chemistry with each other, and pretty cool looking, and their history seems pretty awesome. I want them to get their own show. Why don't they have their own show? I mean, why not? I would honestly prefer a Hawk and Dove show over this Titan show any day. I'm not done talking about it either. So let's go into the last part of the show that I should probably talk about, the actual story. Rachel is being hunted down by this cult that works for her father, Trigon, in a way, trying to bring him back to Earth by using Raven, aka Rachel, to bring him to Earth. This ends up getting Dick Grayson, Garfield, aka Beast Boy, and Starfire, aka Corey, all together. And They're trying to stop this from happening, basically. Now, like I said earlier, they try to tie the race of Starfire's people and their planet Tamaran together by having her species have this book about the end of worlds, about how Trigon is destined to destroy all the worlds in this dimension unless he can be stopped. And I can see where they're going with this. They're trying to build him up as a real credible threat by saying he's not going to destroy just Earth, he's going to destroy all the worlds. But again, having it tied like this just seems weird. How come Tamaran has this book? Why do these people have it when all the major stuff in the starting point of said events are going to be starting on Earth? Why doesn't Earth have this? And of course, there's the actual introduction of Trigon eventually towards the end of the first season. I admit, I was a little confused to see him played by a normal human actor. But then that's on me because, again, if we're not going to see Starfire painted orange, then we're not going to see Trigon's actual demonic form. And I haven't really seen much of him to see if this human actor can actually pull off Trigon. But based on what I remember him from the first show, not that impressed yet. And of course, there's the actual season 1 finale. I care nothing for it. We knew the entire time, based on how the previous episode ended, that the events happening in that season finale were all going on as like an illusion inside Dick Grayson's mind. There's really nothing at stake there. And they try to pull the rug off under you by showing that Trigon eventually wins against Dick Grayson using these kinds of mind games, and try to leave on this big cliffhanger of how Trigon does seemingly be able to start going on taking over the world. It's just not executed at all very well. At the end of the day, this is a show where I can see what they're trying to do with it. I can see where they're trying to go. I can see what they want to do by subverting expectations and such, but the execution is sloppy, and they clearly don't have a full understanding of how exactly they want to go about doing these kinds of things. Although I am disappointed to say that I am sort of interested to see how season 2 plays out, because this show could still be saved. Unlike Dick Grayson, apparently, I still have belief that this show can turn itself away from the darkness. So, hopefully, we do that. Hopefully, season 2 is actually better and can actually do some stuff we want the show to do. I'm just gonna go watch Doom Patrol. I'm way more excited for that show. That's all I really have for Titans right now, anyway. Comment down below what you think of the show. Like, subscribe, share. And hopefully I'll be happier next time I see you guys in a video.